legislative amendments because we are both very close to the everyday life of most people and close to what regional currencies actually do. And there's a chance that some politicians, as yet unfamiliar with the concept, will become interested in it. So we have experimental reality on the one side and the dealing with the taxation of time units on the other. Perhaps we can open a door to get those politicians who have only thought about interest rates up until now interested in this concept. What are the current problems you encounter with the practical implementation of regional currencies like the Ursprungstaler? You accept time units as currency. How do you tax them?
Als Währung quasi anerkennen. Wie gehen Sie da momentan mit der steuerlichen Verrechnung um?
Ja, unsere Akzeptanzstellen, die Unternehmen, die Menschen, die mitmachen, können...
Our partners can set quotas for accepting regional currency notes. So every business can decide what percentage of their total revenue they are prepared to accept in regional money. So companies can still charge a value-added tax, pay their turnover tax. Individuals still have to pay income tax. I think a tax relief for regional currency transactions would be extremely useful. It would increase the acceptance of regional money, especially with consumers and with those people who want to escape their isolation and play a part in the labour market again. That's why I'd really welcome an experimental clause.
Professor Kennedy, if we have experimental clauses, what would be their essential components? It is essential that regional banks are municipal authorities and integrated. Businesses and consumers are usually not so much a problem, but banks and public authorities have to abide by regulations. There is, for example, Clause 3, which says you need to disperse all euro deposits. There is a Clause 35, which deals with the manufacture of money. There's a communal law obliging the municipality to charge their services in euros. So there are many clauses that might be useful in certain situations, but which hinder us from realizing the whole potential of a regional currency. Only when all relevant players within a region actually participate in the regional currencies experiment will we be able to find out how and to what extent this financial innovation can help solve the region's current problems.
If this is an expanding path, from whom can we expect resistance? Every reform brings about winners and losers, and the losers will fight against losing. And when talking about these issues of wealth and poverty, we will be fighting against some very powerful and influential losers.
Gegen dann Verlierer, die sehr, sehr stark sind. Zumindest, weil sie viel Geld haben, viel Einfluss und anderes.
Das System generiert Ihnen einen Satz von Unternehmenstypen, Produkttypen.
This system generates a set of company types and product types.
Potenzial in der Bevölkerung, Zielgruppen mit Marketeers sagen, die das kaufen würden. Sowas. Und
You can see there is potential in the population to use a regional currency. In this case, we evaluate the potential target groups for the Chiemgauer regional currency in southern Germany. There are two very large target groups for the Chiemgauer. Those who would like to buy services, but not goods, and those who would like to purchase goods in the Chiemgauer currency.
zwar sind es soziografisch, demografisch auch noch Zielgruppen, die relativ wenig
These groups are relatively deprived and have little money, so they really need a system where they could earn money. A currency which is backed by labour time, like the Sterntaler. If you could involve these two target groups, your group of users would grow instantly by tens of thousands, and without a great deal of marketing effort.
zeigen Ihnen, es gibt 8 sehr stark abgegrenzte Zielgruppen. Davon sind 2, die sind
There are other target groups which would be difficult to reach through conventional marketing measures, either because they are very small or because you would enter into competition with other measures and would have to spend a lot of marketing money on gaining very few new users.
schwierig anzusprechen, weil sie sehr flach sind. Das heißt, da gibt es wenige.
There is an enormous economic potential for the Chiemgauer currency.
Relativ einfach mit Marketing.
It is 35% underutilized, according to these studies.
Wirtschaftliches Potenzial.
This unused potential consists of unemployed people, people that are in retraining, people that are self-employed and don't have enough projects, people that have a huge know-how but also a huge lack of training and often deficiencies in social skills. These are all potentials that could be activated and integrated into economic life.
Das sind alles Dinge, die aktiviert werden können. Also die Volkswirtschaft
I have stated, regional money should have a global component. The electronic system Cyclos is a step into that direction.
Vielleicht gehen Sie dann mit diesem Cyclos in diese Richtung.
We have talked about losses for 2 days now. In my opinion, regional money is a tool to conserve values. It conserves private property. If I have a house in Krenglingen where I live and the infrastructure is becoming worse, the value of that house will depreciate. Everybody understands this. We need to stress that regional money is a financial means to conserve values. Regional money is a means of identification. This is an interesting point that came out in Professor Gateman's workshop. This is especially interesting for politicians who are fighting for means of identification with and within their region. We can address politicians on this point of identification and they will react to it.
Dass das für die eine sehr, sehr wichtige Geschichte ist, dass die also auf solche Themen wirklich reagieren. Es ist also vielleicht eine ganz zentrale
It is a central task to link renewable energies and regional money. Thus, we can create a basis where money creation becomes possible. We discussed interesting models on this in our workshop.
Hierzu mehrere Modelle besprochen.
Was herauskam, ganz wichtig, man soll den Banken Lösungen anbieten, einfache Lösungen und sie nicht erstmal Hilfe bei der Lösung.
It is important to offer simple solutions to the banks and not ask them for solutions. Frank Sintz suggested we should wait until we have the first results from the electronic Chiemgauer experiment. Then we can go to the banks and really have something to offer. Frank Schmauder from the Reutlinken Savings Bank suggested we should form pressure groups and alliances with businesses. Banks like business because with them they can make money. Then we could go to the banks and say, look, it's not us, it's the private businesses that want regional money. Since recently, it has been possible in Wasserburg to pay in electronic Chiemgauers. This means the entrepreneur is using electronic Chiemgauer accounts. He or she can make savings in Chiemgauers and get an overdraft in Chiemgauers. Many barter clubs today have very high expertise. They are linked with each other. Many are using clearinghouses to enable trade between different barter clubs. I'd like to quote Mr. Hussmann, who said that there are now around 700 barter clubs worldwide, with a total revenue of $600 billion.
Dieser Barterclubs sich auf 600 Milliarden Dollar weltweit im Jahr beläuft.
It is not only positive that the numbers of regional money initiatives are growing so rapidly. The growing number also bears the risk of having black sheep, those who do not fulfill the quality criteria. And when they cause damage, it will affect all initiatives in Germany. So we really have to deal with issues of risk management, security funds, and issues of liability. Here, we can learn a great deal from barter clubs, because they really have the expertise on these issues. There is a common denominator, and that's the promotion of regional economic cycles. On a municipal level, many local authorities have commissioned large surveys among local businesses in the last couple of years. I know this because my company conducted these surveys many times. One of the questions in the survey is, what products do you obtain from outside the region and why? What is really interesting is that 1/3 of products that are obtained from outside the region are obtained from the outside because there is no provider within the region. That, at least, is what the entrepreneurs think. However, when looking at the whole data, we often discover that this is not the case. So there is clearly a knowledge deficit.
We can help local authorities take the strain off their budget, especially in the social field and promotion of the local economy. Actually, the local authorities don't really have an excuse not to get involved with us.
Sie haben eigentlich auch keine Ausredemöglichkeiten.
Ich glaube, wenn man sich die Vielfalt dieser Beiträge...
I'm very impressed with the diversity of contributions and with their high quality. It's just wonderful how everyone here got up and asked questions and made comments that were critical, elaborate, and valuable.
Kommentare und Fragen, das war einfach ein wunderbares Erlebnis, das mitzukriegen. Und für mich ist diese
The networking during this conference, the fact that some of you will continue to work with each other, is proof of something I began to realize some time ago, that we are developing a collective intelligence.
Dass wir so etwas wie eine kollektive Intelligenz entwickeln. Das ist etwas, was wir in der Schule nicht mitgekriegt haben. Das ist etwas, was wir
We are in a highly dangerous situation. For the first time in human history, we have the technological means to grant every human of this planet a dignified life with the satisfaction of elementary needs like food and housing. At the same time, our outdated money and property systems stop us from providing those necessities.
halten uns unsere überkommenen Strukturen an Besitz und Geld.
Consequently, as we hear every day in the media, we still have famines, poverty, children dying, and so on.
Das sind alles, also die Zahlen haben wir jeden Tag im Fernsehen und in den Zeitungen. Was wir brauchen, sind wirklich
We need solutions, and I think regional money offers a solution.
Dass wir für die 3 Jahre, die es uns gibt,
The German initiatives have only existed for 3 years, and I think we've achieved a great deal in such a short time span.
finde ich, haben wir eine unglaubliche Menge geleistet und ich glaube, wir sollten vor allen Dingen
I think we should really thank those who have worked hard to create many different projects and money initiatives.
auf sich nehmen, diese Glaubwürdigkeit von funktionierenden Modellen vorzuweisen. Dafür würde ich gerne
Wenn Goethe in genauer Beobachtung der historischen
In his work, Faust II,
Gründung der
Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's writing
Papiergeld
rests upon a very accurate observation of certain historical facts. The foundation of the Bank of England, which issued paper money, the creation of the Code Napoleon, with the new Dominion property rights which derived from Roman law, and the Industrial Revolution, based upon the invention of the steam engine, amongst others. Thus, Goethe clearly highlights and describes the alchemistic core of the modern economy. We then ask ourselves this question: what does Goethe want to tell us by all of this? Or, what do we gain from the knowledge that alchemy is not something from the past, but something which continues to affect us today? To answer this question, we have to look at the meaning of the alchemistic endeavour and what it seeks to achieve. Alchemy is about the pursuit of overcoming time and transience and the continuation of the process of creation by humans. Although an alchemist would not say he is making something out of nothing, but making out of very little more and ever more. That is his whole endeavour. The process of creation in the economy bears an immense fascination to Faust and to us. The fascination of eternity. The fascination of an ever ongoing advancement. Thus, the economy gains the transcendence that people have previously found in religion. It is not the hope for Eden in the afterlife which inspires modern man's idea of eternity, but economic activity in the here and now.
Das wirtschaftliche Handeln im Diesseits öffnet dem modernen Menschen den Blick in die Unendlichkeit.